Okay, so think about the last time you maybe saw an ad or clicked on an online slot game.
Yeah.
Glittering pyramids, maybe those Viking longboats, or just the classic like cherries and lemons.
Absolutely everywhere, aren't they? Hard to miss.
Totally.
But
But have you ever stopped to think, like, who actually makes these things? And maybe more importantly, who gets the money if you, well, don't win?
exactly, that's the real question.
Right.
Because when you land on a casino website, what you're really seeing is just, the shop window.
Right.
Behind that facade, there's this whole shadow industry, you could call it, a network of companies, game developers that most people have probably never even heard of.
Okay, so not the casino brand itself, but someone else.
Precisely. We're talking about names like Pragmatic Play, Evolution, maybe Hacksaw Gaming,
Mm-hmm.
Red Tiger, Netent, names that probably don't ring a bell for most players.
Huh. Never heard of them. So these companies, they're the ones actually designing the games the casinos offer?
Yes. They build the visuals, they create the game mechanics, how it all works. They license these games to the casinos. They're kind of the puppet masters, pulling the strings behind the curtain.
And I guess that includes setting the odds, how likely you are to win or lose.
Absolutely crucial. It's not just about making it look flashy. They design the core mathematics, the algorithms that determine payout frequency. They're the ones tweaking those probabilities.
Okay, and I read something interesting about where these companies often operate. Places like Malta, Curacao, the Isle of Man, Gibraltar.
Yeah, that's a really key point. It sounds a bit like a travel brochure, doesn't it?
It does, but there's a business reason, I take it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
These jurisdictions often have, let's say, different regulatory environments compared to, say, the UK or parts of the US.
Meaning looser rules.
It can mean more flexibility for the developers, more freedom, potentially, in how they design the games, including features that might be considered, well, more aggressive in keeping players playing, less oversight sometimes, which can correlate with higher profit potential.
Okay, that makes sense. So, you sometimes see the exact same slot game, right? Like the same theme, same characters, but on totally different casino websites. Just maybe different logos slapped on.
Yes, that's super common. It's called white labeling.
White labeling. Okay.
Yeah. So the underlying game, the maths, the mechanics, the odds, it's often identical. The casino just puts their own brand on it. Think of it like different fast food joints, all selling Coca-Cola.
Ah, okay. Same recipe, different cup.
Exactly. It's like a fast food franchise model,
Mm-hmm.
but for gambling games.
And these games, they really know how to, like, grab you, don't they? The bonus rounds, all the flashing lights, the sounds, even when you win tiny amounts.
Oh, absolutely.
And those near misses where it looks like you almost got the big win.
Precisely. And that's often not accidental. It's very much by design. There's this whole field, sometimes called neurodesign.
Your design sounds intense.
Well, it involves using insights from psychology, from behavioral science, even neuroscience, to understand what makes a game sticky, what keeps people engaged.
So they're actually studying how to trigger, like, dopamine hits in your brain.
Essentially, yes. Understanding how bonus rounds, those big win animations, even those frustrating fake near misses, how they all affect player behavior and encourage, just one more spin.
Wow. Okay, now here's something that really surprised me. I heard some casinos might actually pay the developers extra to get, like, temporarily hot versions of games, ones that pay out more for a bit.
It's a fascinating aspect. Yeah, the developers, some of them, can apparently adjust the RTP, the return to player percentage, for a limited time.
Why would they do that?
Well, the idea could be to generate buzz, make it seem like a particular game is paying out really well right now, attract a lot of players quickly.
Like a loss leader almost.
Sort of, yeah. Get people in the door with slightly better odds, create some excitement, maybe get some word of mouth going. But crucially, these boosted odds are often just temporary. They usually revert back to the standard, less generous settings after a while.
That raises some ethical questions, doesn't it?
It certainly prompts discussion about transparency and player expectations.
So really, when you're playing one of these online slots, it's not just a simple game of chance. It's way more complex.
It really is. You're interacting with a highly engineered product, sophisticated behavioral design, complex mathematics, all created by these companies operating largely out of sight.
Companies you've likely never heard of running the show behind the casino brand you do see.
Exactly.
So I guess the takeaway is the next time you spin those digital reels, it's worth remembering you're not just the player hoping for luck.
Mm,
In a very real sense, you're also, well, you're the data.
yeah. Your engagement, your reactions, it all feeds back into refining these products.
Makes you think differently about clicking that spin button, doesn't it? Something to mull over.